Assalamu alaikum. Dr. Hassan here, or Sifu Hassan. Some of you know me as a teacher of martial arts. So I'm going to talk a little bit about martial arts and self-defense today. It's been a while since I've gone live on this page, so it's certainly due. So I will talk a little bit about self-defense. And how to use martial arts as self-defense, because some people, they choose some martial arts for other reasons than self-defense, and then when they need to use it for self-defense, it might not be very practical and useful. So I'm going to talk about martial arts from a self-defense aspect, and also self-defense, what do you call it, in general. Okay, so what to choose is the first thing you might ask if you want to learn how to defend yourself. And if that's the first priority, then you should focus on how practical it is in a real life situation. Okay, there are many martial arts. There are different forms of Kung Fu, such as Wing Chun and Shaolin and so on, Tai Chi. Technically, people don't put that in under the Kung Fu theory, but it is in the same category. You have Karate, Judo, Jiu Jitsu. You have Filipino martial arts. Escrima is the most famous one, or Anis, some people call it. And of course, you have Taekwondo, which it's not impossible to use as a self-defense, but maybe not the most practical one, because it's mostly about kicking, and it can be effective in certain situations to kick, but you sometimes can control your kick very well in a fight, in a real fight, and also you might end up actually doing something, hurting the person in a way that you will be ending up going to jail, actually. So it's not necessarily the best situation because of that lack of control. Because once you start swinging your legs and hitting somebody with your foot, we don't know exactly what might happen in that situation. So anyway, I want to talk about two things, or two systems of martial arts that I recommend people to use for self-defense. One of them is Filipino martial arts, in specifically Escrima or Kali or Anis. It has those three names, and it's pretty much the same style of martial arts. Another one is Jiu Jitsu, specifically Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, which is very popular these days. Now, for somebody who wants to learn martial arts and start out in martial arts as a self-defense, I cannot recommend Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or any other form of Jiu-Jitsu as the first choice. Okay, I will recommend it, and I will, elaborate a little bit on that, but not as the one thing you start with. Okay, and I will explain why. It's very simple. If you are in a self-defense position or situation, and somebody attacks you, Jiu-Jitsu is mainly for grappling. Okay, they do have some strikes, at least in some systems of Jiu-Jitsu, which of course is a good thing, and they also have defense against strikes, how to deflect a punch and get into a trapping and a grappling situation until you are able to control the person, whether you're standing or whether you're lying down. But the thing is, they are focused on the fight ending on the ground, which a lot of fights do. No debate about that. Maybe the majority of fights end on the ground, but there are different types of fights. This is the thing that people have to realize, that when you're in a self-defense situation, what kind of fight do you end up in? Of course, if you are ending up you're going to a nightclub or a bar or something like that, and you have a bar brawl where somebody, knock you by mistake, and then, you get into it, and then suddenly you start swinging, and then he starts swinging, and then, you get close enough, and he might grab you or you grab him and then you end up on the ground. Yeah, this might happen. The problem with that is if you have, if you go to those kind of places, maybe not a good idea in the first place. But if you have, there are many self-defense situations where it's very far from this situation at all, where you might get into a situation where somebody might attack you, and there might be more than one person. The problem is, if your training is based on somebody grabbing you, and then you defend yourself and you end up on the ground, or you might throw him on the ground. In the meantime, another person can kick you or punch you, and even you are throwing that person and you're still standing, or if you end up on the ground, grappling on the ground with that person, if that person if there's a second or third attacker, you are pretty much, defenseless, because you can't grapple somebody on the ground at the same time somebody is standing up and kicking you or punching you or using some kind of weapon to attack you at the same time. You're pretty much finished in that situation, which is why the most important thing is, although you need to know how to defend yourself if the fight goes to the ground, okay? But the first rule is learn how not to have to go to the ground, because if there is more than one attacker, you're finished. All right, you need a very, very, very high level of jiu-jitsu skills to be able to deal with one person on the ground while another or even two other people might be attacking you. That takes a huge, a very, very high level of skills, and you might never reach that level. So it's not really the best thing to focus on that type of martial arts or self-defense techniques, although you need to learn it as well. So I would say, while you learn, for example, Filipino martial arts, and I will talk about that and show you a couple of things about that, you want to start with that and then also learn how to manage when you're grappling on the ground. And even in Filipino martial arts, there are trapping techniques and there are throwing techniques and so on, but I'm not going to go much into that. So what do you do in a self-defense situation? Somebody attacking you. They might just have their hands punching, or whatever, grabbing, but they also might have a weapon. Now, if there is a situation where somebody has a weapon and they want to harm you, and even with 2 people or 3 people, you still have a chance to do something. So I have a couple of examples of tools that has different degrees of effectiveness and danger attached to it. Now, I will explain about these tools and how they might be applied in a fighting situation. So I start with my tactical folder, which is this knife here. This is a special Spyderco Yojimbo 2, which is designed by an expert in knife fighting on how to use this. This is designed simply for fighting. It's not designed for anything else. Okay, you can find it online maybe if you are able to get it wherever you are. I live in Indonesia. I bought it online from somebody who's selling good quality knives, and it is a good quality knife. Okay. Now, this of course is a messy tool. So if you're fighting with somebody and you happen to doing different techniques to defending yourself, there's a good chance somebody will die. And if somebody has to die, better the person that attacked you than you, obviously. And there is a situation where you might be needed to use a tool like that. It's not nice. I prefer never to have to pull my knife out in self-defense. It would be nice if I would never have to do that in my life. I'm not going to go into my past experience fighting with knives, but let me just tell you, if you have a knife, okay, it's a good tool Okay, you can put it as a clip. It has a clip like this, and you put it in the inside your pocket like this. All right. So this is why, and I can pull it out and then basically have it out very quickly. Okay. And of course, you can practice. You can practice doing this. You basically in a situation, hey, please, I don't want to fight, and then in the meantime, you have the knife out. As you can see, it's ready to use. Anyway, so it's not really obvious that I have a means of self-defense. You won't need to notice it. You barely see that. If you know what it is, of course you might notice it. Okay, and of course if you're learning how to fight with a knife, that's the right tool. Okay, another tool that I can also recommend, which can still kill. Okay, which can still kill, but you can still do a lot of damage on that person without killing him or her, for that matter. Because you might be a woman and another woman might want to kill you, so, not that I want to pick a fight with a woman, because, I don't pick a fight with anybody, but this is what we call a tactical pen. Okay, why is it? It's a pen. It's just, you can write with it, like this. I can just, write as I write, and you can even use a normal cheap pen in a pinch. We like those people who are into this kind of things, training with it. We like to buy a pen that is made out of a good quality material, so even if you should have some need for use, it won't break during the fight. Okay, so they can stand up to a lot of stuff. And usually they are designed in a special way, like you can see this has a little point, so that means that if I should hit somebody on the shoulder, they're pretty much going to have difficulty using that arm. So you can use that in different places. You can use that on the side of the head and so on. This is not an instruction on how to self-defense. This is just an informative lesson, basically. So this is a very good tool. And it's not against the law to have a pen. Even a tactical pen, there's no country in the world where a tactical pen is illegal. So this is like the minimal form of self-defense tool. But still, if you practice how to use it, you can use it very, very well. Okay. So that's another tool that I can recommend. If you are walking in neighborhoods or in places where you feel there's a chance that something might happen, who knows, you might feel a little bit more comfortable having some means of protection, whether it's a knife or whether it's a tactical pen or a normal pen. Okay. I might make another video where I demonstrate the use of a tactical pen, but I'm pretty sure if you check on YouTube, you can probably find some lessons there. Anyway, so the third tool I want to talk about is what we call a collapsible or telescopic baton or stick. All right. This is it already in the case or in the holster here. All right. So I want to start by showing how it's carried. It's carried in a belt. You can put it in a belt, in a bag, in the front. You can have it in a belt and have the t-shirt or shirt over it, so you don't really notice it that clearly. So if somebody attacks you, the good thing, this particular model I really like, is the fact that if you ever have used a baton before, you know that you have to strike it in the ground to put it together again after it's collapsed. This one has a little button at the end, at the bottom here. So when you want to put it together, it's not gonna, you're gonna have really easy doing it. So anyway, so this holster specifically is very good because if you have it, let's say I have it right here in my belt. When you pull it, it extends automatically. All right, which is beautiful piece of technology. Okay, so let me explain about the button. There's this. Normally, you would have to hit this on the ground because of the friction, it has to go to collapse again, so it doesn't. But this have like some kind of security feature, so you can actually just press the button and then push it up, and it's together again. And if you're not carrying it in the holster, in this holster, for example, all right, you can have it in a pocket, okay? Let me just put it in a pocket. So you'll have it in a pocket, and actually it's not that obvious that I have a baton here, okay? You can easily pull it out and then flick, and you have a self-defense tool. And just to demonstrate that, you know, if you get hit, or if you hit somebody with a tool like this, they will feel it. So I will just hit a couple of times. I won't even use my full power, full force. So if you flick, so if you're hitting a normal hit, like a strike like this, okay, believe me, you hit the arm, it can break easily. Okay, you hit the head, you can actually kill somebody. So you really wouldn't just hit somebody in the head. But if somebody, you know, is attacking you, like for example, if you're a woman and you know you have a maybe inferior power because men are usually stronger and bigger, or not that they are always like that, but the person who might attack you, he's not going to attack somebody who's bigger than him or even the same size. Usually people who are just attack people are usually cowards. So they will go for the easy target, right? So that means that you might end up being attacked by somebody bigger, the opposite sex, or even if you're a man, maybe a man who's bigger than you, or who are two of them, so they feel more confident. So when you're flicking it out, and then you use a backhand strike, all right? You can use a forehand and a backhand. So this is a very effective tool, all right? So if you're training in, just to explain about the martial art aspects of this, so if you're training in Escrima, you're usually learning how to use this stick to use in many ways to punch, to strike, to strike in different ways. Okay, so you're learning this, how to use this stick, a rattan stick here. Doesn't cost a lot of money, and it can be fun. I really enjoy training with this, and sometimes you might train with two sticks, so you're hitting, all right? And so you're learning how to use two sticks, or one stick, or one stick with a knife in the other hand, and so on. So this is the Escrima, or Anis or Kali. So this is how the system of Escrima is trained. So when you're learning how to use a stick like this as a self-defense, once you switch, if you're in a situation and you have been training for a couple of months or a couple of years, and then you are, you just want to feel safe, you have your baton in your pocket or in your holster or wherever, and you can simply take it out, and now I can do the same thing with my baton. Yes. Believe me, it packs quite a punch. Okay? You don't need to be very strong to use this effectively, because it's not so much in my arm's power of hitting, it's more in the acceleration, in the speed of how it moves. Okay, so I will just demonstrate. I'm not going to use much power, because I'm just going to flip. See? Or if you can hear the power enough over this video, but believe me, it's I can smash a brick just with a slide like that, or some roof tiles or whatever, just to if you ever get a baton like this and you want to see how effective it is, you could take a couple of bricks and simply hit them, and then you will see whether So as I said, I definitely recommend some kind of training, and we live in a time now that gets more and more violent, and of course now everybody is quarantined at home, and you know, we have people dying all over the world because of the COVID-19 or CCP virus, as some people call it, right? So of course you are thinking less about, oh, I might go out and be in a situation where I need to defend myself. But the thing is, you got to understand that when we are in this kind of crisis situation, there are people who will take advantage of weaker persons, and you might need to go out to get food, all right, to buy food, okay? And in that situation where everybody might be looking for food and stuff like that, there are people who are going to be aggressive and try and take advantage, and even if it's not for them to get food, they might just rob you. Okay, there are people, unfortunately, all these criminal elements, they're not gonna, you know, it's not all of them who died and everybody who's good didn't die, or vice versa, right? You know, we are all susceptible to this virus, more or less, so you want to be in a safe position. So I would definitely recommend to learn some martial arts, okay? Even my own family, we've been training for years. I've been training for, you know, close to 50 years, all kinds of martial arts, and the two things that have been sticking with me over the years is Filipino martial arts, because it's very practical, okay? And as I said, if you have more than one attacker, because you have the distance you can go, and if somebody's getting too close, you can hit one person and still deal with the other person, so you can, you know, keep them at bay, rather than if you are in a situation where you are not having any weapons. As soon as one is close to you, the other one can move in, and then, you know, how are you gonna, you know, yeah, you might be, if you're really good and you train for many years, you might still, you know, do some kicks and some punches and deal with one person. And that's one thing that you might learn in martial arts, is how to position yourself. So, you know, like if two people are, one is coming from here, one is coming from there, you know, before they both move close in and are equally close to you, you might go towards one of them so you can deal with him before the other one can get close enough. So you take the initiative if you know that there's no way out of this fight. But that takes a lot of skills, and you might not be as lucky, all right? You might not be having them at a distance. They might be coming at the same distance, so by the time they reach you, they are both reaching you at the same time, and then that is not an advantage necessarily, although you might move to the side and then, you know, but still you are limiting your chances, which is why it's very important to use some kind of self-defense tool, all right? And especially if you are not as strong, when, like I said, you can use the tactical pen. When you hit, let's say I was a woman, you know, smaller in stature and so on, and if I wanted to defend myself and I want to punch, because of my strength, I might not have a big effect. But even a medium-sized child, having this tool here, when you hit, believe me, it does enough pain and damage to an attacker that when you hit, if you have a little bit of training, just a little bit is enough, you can hit the right place. You can hit on the thigh, you can hit on the shoulder, on the bicep, even on the upper arm. You can hit on the chest, in many places, even on the neck. You hit the person with the tactical pen, and you can get a huge effect compared to if you are empty-handed and you try to hit, right? The only chance you really have if you are not having any weapon and you are against a bigger opponent, as far as, you know, besides grappling, and maybe you get an arm bar or something like that. But if you are standing and trying to fight a bigger opponent, the only chance you really have to win this fight is by fighting very dirty. And that means strikes right on the throat, but that takes skills, you know, because he might be, defending himself, to get in there, it's not so easy. All right? To punch him out when he's bigger than you is very unlikely. So your only real, chance is knee or a kick to the groin or a punch on the throat, which can also, potentially kill somebody. But for sure, you punch straight, throat punch is a good tool, but again, you have two opponents, forget it. The only thing you can really do is have some kind of tool, and as I said, this is the minimum tool that I would recommend. A tactical pen, because you can pretty much hit almost anywhere on the body, okay? If you're hitting any big muscle, okay? I don't know if you ever played football, and sometimes in football you get close to the other player, the other team's player, and you might get hit with a knee. You're trying to dribble the ball, and then by accident, usually, hopefully, you get hit by somebody's knee right on your thigh. You know that feeling? I think they call it a wooden leg or something like that. But what happens is, it's like, you can't really walk for a while. It pretty much puts you out of commission, at least for playing football and many other things. And that can take sometimes minutes before you walk normally again, depending on, how it is. So, as I said, all the big muscles, they get hit in a good way, in an effective way, not a good way, because it's not good for that person, of course. But if you get hit, and even in Filipino martial arts, we have a gunting, we have some techniques where we are hitting on the bicep with the knuckles, but it takes too much skill to actually do it effectively in a fight, which is where this comes in, because you hit almost anywhere. Even if somebody is punching you and you are blocking, you are avoiding to be hit, you can hit in, you can hit out, right? And hit that arm that's punching you. And if you're getting with this point here or with this point here on that same location, it would be extremely hard for them to keep using that arm, all right? And that it might even be enough for that person to say, okay, now I'm going, all right? But in a dangerous situation, personally, this is the tool, right? The knife, because you just basically hit the person. Even if they have a knife, you must go and learn how to use the knife in an effective way, all right, to hit the person, all right, and hit the hands, hit the arms, because once the hands or arms are out of commission, the man is out of commission, okay? Even if somebody tries to kick you, like some taekwondo or kickboxing, if they try to kick you in the head, you basically just raise your hand and look at what happens to his foot, right, or his leg. It's going to be completely smashed with the knife, all right? And of course, you have a good quality knife like this, and it will take a lot of damage, all right? And then, as I said, if I should choose one tool, maybe some people will say, aha, that's the knife, that's the tool to choose. Actually, I prefer this tool because of the reach, okay? This might kill somebody faster, but the thing is, when you hit any leg or arm that comes against you, when you hit it, once I hit your arm, if you attack, for example, once I hit your arm here with the tip, with the first end of this, if I hit you like this, that arm is done. You're not going to try to use that arm again. So I hit once, I hit twice, your arms are gone, and then what next? The leg, right? So this is preferable because you can pretty much take somebody completely out of commission without necessarily killing them. Although, of course, it is still an option if you need to, but of course we do not want to, we don't want to be in that situation, okay? So anyway, so this is a very good tool. So those three tools is something that everybody in my family learned how to use these and have those, okay? And when we go somewhere, we might be having either one or all three, depending on the place we're going and the needs. Okay? I'm not going to make this video too long, so I'm going to stop here. If you have any questions regarding some of the things I explained, you can comment here below this video, and I will try and answer the question as much as I can. By the way, if you do buy a baton, make sure it's one that has this holster, that when it's in the holster, when you pull it out, it automatically extends. So you can do this, and also make sure that it has that button that when you collapse it, you don't have to, basically hit it on the ground like some of those cheaper ones. That's not really good because it's too obvious. People are going to pay attention to that. All right. So you can basically go boom, do finish, and then like that and walk away, right? Rather than you and then you start defending yourself, and then after that you have to hit this, and maybe it takes a couple of hits before, and everybody will notice you won't get out of there that quickly, right? So buy it with one of these holsters. For those who are in Indonesia, I got this one from, oh my, what's the name of that shop? There are two sellers in Tokopedia that's having it. One is Swarna, and the other one is this one, if you can see the brand, is Ben Tactical. I don't know if you can buy that outside of Indonesia, but you can buy other brands that is the same kind of quality. This one is like 900 rupiah. It's pretty good. It comes with the holster. Okay, so this is my preferred. I tried 4 or 5 other ones here, in Indonesia, and this is my favorite. So buy that if you need a way of self-defense, and also if you are not in Malang, you can learn online. I'm offering self-defense and martial arts classes, Escrima, Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. As I said, you don't start with that, you start with the Escrima so you can stay away from the ground, learn how to defend yourself standing, and avoid being, going into a ground game or ground struggle or fight. But as sooner or later you will learn some tools on, if you do get to the ground, what you're supposed to do. But you don't want to go to the ground. That's what you have to avoid, which is why it's good to have a tool. So you can, if you're interested in those lessons, you can inbox me and join the classes online. It's done through videos, and you can partner up with, if you are married, you can join with your spouse. So you can train together, and I will demonstrate in our class. There are no students here today because of COVID-19, and our family trains here every morning. Now it's afternoon. There are no classes right now. But you can join the classes if you like. Just inbox me for more information. So until next time, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and stay safe and stay healthy. Don't get sick, okay? Take care of your immune system, because that's the best weapon you have against the COVID-19.